Well, out for another beautiful ride. Look at this place. This is the Granite Mountain Hot Shots Memorial area. It's over there. But this lookout is amazing. I'm out here. I got Zero Cool. You know he likes to go on these rides. And this is a fun little twisty that we're just going to get on and clear our head. This is my dash cam in case anything happens. Yes. Starting that bike never gets old. All right. Let's see here. I buzzed him, but he wasn't paying attention. Since we're here, we should definitely pay some respects. So before I begin this beautiful meditative ride of self-reflection and discovery, we will pull in up there. Also, that's a great paragliding launch. But how beautiful is that? There's a movie about it. Only the Brave. It's worth a watch. Okay. Last video we talked about the storm, the chaos, resisting it and fighting it. By the way, I don't talk this slow in real life. I try to create a meditative vibe with the droning of the engines in the background, the scenery. These videos are equally about self-reflection and learning as they are about just enjoying the ride, which is kind of a metaphor for life itself. So yeah, we're going to rip up this canyon and we're going to talk about the next step in the chaos conversation. The last video ended, I asked you to reflect on what you were fighting and what fight you could give up, because peace is here and now. It's not after the storm. what happens after the storm passes. And I know, whoo, little peg scrape. Hey, if you ain't dragging pegs, you ain't riding. I got a 3-inch lift on this bike so that she won't scrape, but you know, then lean angles run out on you real quick. Caught me off guard there, so I'm pretty sure I was talking about my last anecdotal story was relatively about when the storm ended and I was still not at peace. And but I want to continue with what happens after the chaos. Of the storm has passed doesn't mean there's not a residual effect. The storm could have been somebody passing away, some kind of illness, some other dramatic change in your life. But now the storm has passed, and what we need to focus on next is acceptance. Clear, acceptance is not giving up. It's not a weakness. It's not victim mentality. Acceptance is strength. It's transformation. It's understanding. Most importantly, it's that inner peace, that inner stillness that's always there waiting for you. Lesson came for me a long time ago. In the very first video I ever posted, I'm not going to force you guys to go back and listen to it, so I'll kind of touch on it, but I'll be brief. But I mentioned a small jail sentence when I was 17. My first lesson in acceptance and inner peace. You're a ghost of a man in that place. You're locked in this concrete box. You eat when they tell you to eat, you wake up when they tell you to wake up, sleep when it's sleep time. They never turn off the lights. You gotta cover your eyes. You're not given a pillow, you have to use your shower towel as your pillow. but then also you have to use your shower towel as a towel. So some nights it's wet, and you also have to use it to cover your eyes so you can sleep. So you're in this like wet, head-wrapped towel. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. It just was a fun fact. What I learned when I was in there was that everything I needed was inside of me. It's real easy to get stressed out in there, get depressed. Of everything in jail helped me understand the storm and how to fight it, or how not to fight it, is because it forced me to have some silence. And it just goes back to acceptance. Accepting the chaos and accepting the outcome once it passes is choosing how you're going to ride the storm. It's putting the mast up on your sailboat. And that's what makes acceptance so powerful. And so one of my favorite things right now while I'm riding together. Let's take a deep breath. And really focus on that breathing and feel it coming into your lungs. Feel it entering your nose, going down into your lungs, filling your chest. Feel the tension release when you exhale. Let's do it one more time. Nice deep breath in, feeling everything, focusing only on the air coming into your body. Holding it for a second, releasing that pressure. That right there. Oh, thank you. That stillness that you just had while taking those breaths. That's where your inner peace is. That's where you go when you're feeling overwhelmed. When the chaos is getting too much. I wish I could tell you guys about some of my current events, just so you know that this is a lifelong battle. Things come up our whole lives. No amount of success, no amount of overcoming storms ever ends it completely. And so what happens is over time, we get better and better at it. And it's faster and faster. I had that epiphany in jail. And it took me over a decade to finally master it, but I did. I think it's important also to understand that being overwhelmed doesn't make you weak. Let's see if I can get by this guy. Thank you. So, we all get overwhelmed. It doesn't make you weak. And what makes you strong, and where strength comes from, is by choosing how you're going to respond to the overwhelm. And the fact that you are still showing up is so strong and something to be proud of, because we don't have to show up. We can curl up, bury our heads in the sand, hide from the world, give up. But we don't. And the reason I know we don't is because you're here on this ride with me now. We are on the same wavelength. This is our ride. Ride also, and you want to pick apart my lines, feel free. I know they're not perfect. I come out here alone and rip these trails, and I feel like I have really good lines and good trail breaking. But when I'm talking so deep in thought on these ideas that I'm not actually riding, more like going along for the ride. So when you're overwhelmed and you're scared and you're stressed out, it's very hard to take those deep breaths and find that inner peace. And it takes practice and it takes time. Feeling your emotions is important. You can't bury them. Feel them so that you can release them. It's the only way to let them go. If you ignore them and try to act like they're not there and try to create this false sense of strength, you just bury them deeper and deeper and deeper, and that's how you get reactive. That's how you get into victim mentality. If you're scared, acknowledge it. Discuss the fear with yourself. Find out what you're afraid of and what change that fear is trying to prevent. I find in my chaos, I always have a moment of clarity, even if it's the first 20 seconds after I cry my eyes out. When that first 20 seconds hits, I own it, and I take those breaths, and I find that peace, and then I hang on to that, and I remind myself of it. It's in there. Everything else we create in our minds. So, I'll stop talking your ear off. I think for this ride, I want you to just think about yourself in your own journey. Where are you feeling overwhelmed in life? Where are you still showing up? Where can you take those deep breaths and remind yourself, I am enough, I am at peace, I am beautiful, everything is going to work out for the better. My higher self is giving me what I need to change for the better. Who I will be after this, I can't even understand how beautiful and powerful that will be. You deserve everything that you want. You deserve the perfect life, and it's right there inside of you. And once you tap into it, everything outside of you conforms to it. So think about that. Endless ride. And I want to thank you if you've made it this far. That really means the world to me. Woo, pig scrape. Well, I think that's something worth discussing. Is that when you're on these bikes and you run out of lean angle, you run out of turn radius as well. So it's very dangerous. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I really lean off the bike. It's important to get the body lean so that the bike doesn't have to lean as much. The more my body pulls off the side of the bike, the less it has to lean. But sometimes we get these turns where we're turning steep and we're going uphill, and you lose that radius, and that's just one of the downsides of having a performance bagger. Is no matter how much you trick it out, you know, it's still a Harley. And don't get me wrong, I can push this thing, but lean angle ends when lean angle ends. So glad that you guys saw that twice on this video now. And twice I lost my train of thought from it. I'm pretty sure I was thanking you for still being here and letting you know how much I appreciate you. And I really do love you. And if you are listening to this, you are the resistance.